time for Collingwood. Hello and welcome to the Round 10 preview as the Pies and the Blues face off at the MCG at 3:20 p.m. on that Sunday. Can't believe it's here already. I feel like we've avoided talking about it. I feel like we've avoided talking about it the way last season ended as much as possible. I'm 32 years old. I've been following this club since as far back as my memory serves me. I can safely say I have never in my life seen anything like what I saw last year, felt anything like what I saw last year. And for such a long time, I didn't know how I'd be able to move on from it. And then I learned that time heals all wounds. Now, has the wound fully been healed? I don't think so. It's definitely a lot better than what it was at the end of August. And I think that single game has done a lot to reignite the rivalry. For all the banter that we've given Collingwood, Dom Sheed jokes, etc., they now live with that memory that they ended our season in the final minute and we missed out on finals and all of that. And that was terrible for us. It's great for them. It's great for the sport. But I think something about that game, which is important to note, is I'm hoping that there's a realization that there's nothing to be fearful of this week. And the reason why I say that is because how much more painful could a loss be than the final round of last season? Like, we've already experienced that now. Unless it happens in a grand final potentially, or a final, I don't know. But that was significant, I think, for the group. Some may say we haven't recovered from that moment mentally. Some say that we haven't been the same since round 10, 2022, when we first lost to Collingwood. There's theories everywhere right now because there's a lot of uncertainty around Carlton right now. We're all asking questions. Why can't we execute? Why can't we figure it out? Why do we have such inconsistencies in games at this point of the group's existence? A lot of questions. Why can't this person kick? What's happened to his ability, etc., etc. And I feel like all of it doesn't matter this week. The decades of disappointment, the built-up frustration from the fans, doesn't matter. There's a game on Sunday, and that's the only thing that matters in this moment right now. And I hope that the boys bring something extra this week. And I'm sad to say that I hope that they bring something extra this week, because I know that there's a rhetoric within the playing group. They say it publicly in the media every year we play them. It's just another game. The rivalry doesn't mean as much as what it used to. So I'm hoping this week we see something to the contrary. I'm hoping we see them play with a little bit more spite and a little bit more emotion. And I'm hoping that the structure that we're trying to implement into the way we play is something we can fall back on and something that can help us get through, because we are an emotional club. We play off our supporters' emotion. That's what makes us a good team. We're at our best when we're engaged on the field with the players and the supporters, and we're all in unison. That's when we're at our best. And the way it ended last year, surely that's the motivation in the preseason. The way it ended, that is in the back of their minds in the preseason, and maybe, just maybe, that's what's stopping them from staying present. Maybe they've thought about it too much. Maybe they're looking too far ahead. Maybe they're looking too far into the past. I really think there's something to be said for our players' ability to stay present in game. And so on the one hand, I really want them to play like it's personal this week. But on the other hand, I also want them to be able to stay present, be mindful, and find an inner peace to be able to make clear decisions rather than allow themselves to be clouded by all these external factors. You know, the rhetoric this week from the supporter base has been, you know, oh, if we play like this, Collingwood will beat us by 10 goals. Collingwood are going to smash us. It's fascinating to see the dynamic. Even the Collingwood supporters, they're never usually this confident going into a matchup over the last few years. So I'm curious to see if we can get Collingwood just 1 or 2 or 3% a little too confident. That might work in our favour. But you've got to give them credit. They're incredible. They are spiritually connected. They're in unison. Got to admire what they've done. Fair play. They've got good ball users. Their footy IQ collectively is great. They've got big game players. They've got experienced players who have played in, you know, grand finals, big games. And I think mentally they probably have the edge over us right now. But as I said earlier, like there's not that there's no expectation on Carlton, but I think it's heavily expected that Collingwood win this game. And that's generally where we play at our best. Unfortunately, it comes to that. Unfortunately, we're at a stage where we just aren't able to live up to expectation just yet. Like it or not, that's where we are. And everyone who's talking about, oh, you know, if we play the way we have been, we'll get smashed. If we kick the way we kick, we'll get smashed. Not many are saying, what if we win? Like, what if we win this week? It quells a lot of the theories around us. No game plan that works against good sides. Can't beat a top 4 side. We've only beaten average sides since round 10 last year. Haven't been able to get over the mental hurdle of Collingwood. There's so many things. It just helps release some pressure. And that's what I sense is an issue with the group. There's so much pressure on them. They just haven't been able to shut it out. And at the end of the day, the Pies can't beat us, and they can't do to us anything more devastating than what they did. They've already done it. We've already experienced the worst. So there's no fear this week. I want to watch a team this week that plays with no fear. How do they do that? Well, that's on the coaching group to get them ready and prepared to do that. For us, it looks like Tom De Koning will be available. Don't know if he'll play. He's had a lot of time off. Jack Martin played a game last week. You just know he's going to be named this week, don't you? You just know it. It just means too much to the fans for them not to perform this week. And I don't want to talk too much about the fear, but I also want to document every part of what I'm feeling. I fear what would happen if they let the fans down this week. And that's maybe a little unfair. But such is the privilege that it is to be a part of the Carlton Football Club. Such is what it takes and what the experience is to be a part of the club and to wear the monogram. And I feel like we've lost a little bit of our spark and our spirit and our soul. I think everything Collingwood has right now with their group and the way they're all on the same page, all 18 on the field at the one time, it seems. That's exactly what we're lacking right now. Just that connection. I thought we had it. I don't think we've had it for long enough, anywhere near long enough this season. But the beauty of it all is you just get another opportunity each week to shift the narrative in whatever direction you want it to be. So all the myths, all of it this week, all the history will be felt in the crowd. And the guys have just got to get it done. I mean, come on. I'm going alone this week. I'll be sitting next to, I don't know who this week. Got my reserve seat, upgraded the membership. So a singular reserve seat. I can't wait. I'll let you know who I meet. Yeah, there's something about the Collingwood game. I think, the rivalry is always there. Come game day, there's a different type of energy in the crowd. For many years, we were so shit as a team, so inexperienced and all of that, that there came a stage where it was like, okay, when are we going to beat Collingwood as one of the pillars to the progress of the group? So that's why 2021 was, an important night, even though nobody was there in the crowd, because it was part of the story of like, we need to beat Collingwood. Unfortunately, we have lost to them ever since, a couple of games. But they always seem to have a close encounter. So, and that's the other part as well. When it gets tight, when it gets close, Collingwood have the ultimate belief. And that's where we need to just work through it. We need to be able to work through it and push through and come out the other end. I'm not sure whether the painful experience that I'm feeling while watching the Blues at the moment is due to them growing, and it's growing pains of them implementing the game plan and repeating it over and over again to the point where it becomes a subconscious act, or if it's just the downfall of the team. I don't know yet. There's so many questions. I don't know if we have the right players for the game plan as a full list. So having said all of that none of that matters on Sunday, because the game means so much to the people in the crowd. It means so much to our season, because we're coming off a period of time where we've lost 4 of our last 5. So without wanting to attach myself to the outcome too much, we need to start winning games to put ourselves in a position to win a premiership at some point. I think part of the process to winning a premiership is playing finals football consistently. And part of the process to playing finals football consistently is making finals football. And part of the process of making finals football is winning enough games. And we, as it stands right now in this moment, we're not on the right track to win enough games to make it. So I understand that we have to focus on the process, and if you rely and your focus goes too far into the outcome of a situation, you lose your spirit and your joy for it. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge we've got to get a move on. So whether that's fear-based, I don't know, but we've got to work our way through it. The boys are adamant that the wheel's going to turn. Been hearing that for a long time, and that's what we heard this week. I listened to Cripper's press conference. He mentioned that the game is just any other game. Don't know if I believe that. If he's the competitive beast that I think he is, he's going to come out with a different edge this week. And lo and behold, can we hunt them? Can we go and hunt Collingwood for 4 quarters? I think we can do it. I know we can do it. I know we can beat Collingwood this week. I've said worse. So, again, there's no fear. I've said the worst part. It was written in the stars last year, and look how that turned out. Surprise, surprise. The sun came up the next day and we kept going. So, yeah, what about you? How do you feel about this week? Do you fear Collingwood? Are you in the camp of you just can't see us beating them? Do you believe? What are you doing with the team selection? Let us know in the comments below. It's going to be a fascinating week this week. And this is why we watch. This is what makes the club so special. Games like this. Chat to you soon. Come on, boys. Get the job done. Go Blues.